Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the ZeldaCast, where we break down the entire timeline of The Legend of Zelda and not have it hurt your brain. I'm Jeremy, and this is Gray.
Hey there.
We all know that The Legend of Zelda is a time-tested, true-to-form series for the Nintendo. Since 1986, it's been thrilling audiences the world over. And as a lot of you may know, Breath of the Wild came out recently for the Wii U and the recently released Nintendo Switch. We've got a lot of topics to cover today, so let's get straight into the action, starting with the very first Legend of Zelda. So Gray, what can you say about The Legend of Zelda that we haven't already heard thus far?
To be honest, it's very fun, and the top-down perspective is actually really good. I actually really like the idea of it.
I agree.
I've never beaten the game per se. I know it's a very hard game. Everyone knows this by now. It pulls no punches. It tells you nothing. It says, here, go, and then you go.
That's very true. It wasn't until this day and age of the internet where you can easily find solutions to your problems when it comes to video games. Luckily, when I first looked at Google Maps and such myself to help me beat The Legend of Zelda, a lot of it stayed up here. And that final time, when I faced Ganon, drew the silver arrow and let him have it and watched him crumble to pile ash, it was something out of the mask. It's like, as Jim Carrey would say, you are good, kid, real good. For as long as I'm around, you'll always be second best, see? If only that was a reason to celebrate, there's always the second quest to really bang bumpers with.
Oh, I haven't played many of the older Zelda games, sadly.
Okay, well, I'll give you a trick, and you're going to hear it first, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to skip the first quest and go to the second quest, you enter the name Zelda in the enter your name screen, and you skip over the first, start the hard stuff right off the bat.
Huh. I kind of like that idea. Maybe I should try it.
Indeed.
That sounds like fun. I'm going to do that.
Absolutely.
I'm totally going to do that.
And if you're brave enough, film it and post it on YouTube.
Yeah, all you'll hear is a lot of F-bombs. Let's go with that. That's what's gonna happen.
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah.
Let's move on to Zelda 2. That one was a radically different direction as far as the Zelda series goes because it was a side-scroller. Well, half and half side-scroller and half top-down perspective. You ever try that one?
See, I've played the second one. I've never beaten the first dungeon. It's even harder than the first one. I can say that without a doubt. It is very difficult. I know how to cheat the final boss, though. I know how to cheat and beat him, but everyone knows that by now if they've played that game.
Absolutely. That is one of the universal truths of the Zelda universe. If you don't crouch down in the corner and stab low at Shadow Link, you're not going to win.
No.
I've even tried to beat him legit. I can't do it. I've tried so many times, although a friend of mine on YouTube actually managed to pull off a final hit the legit way, and I commend him for that.
That is very impressive.
In terms of overall gameplay, though, I actually do enjoy the change of mechanic in terms of Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. The side-scrolling and the leveling up system, although a little out of the ordinary for the Zelda franchise, I thought it was a good fit, and I enjoy it to this very day, even though this game is seen as the black sheep of the bunch.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of moving on to the next game, one of our absolute favorites, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Woo! For this one, I'm going to let you start the ball with this one.
Oh, I'm starting the ball now? Okay. So, this is one of the few of the older games, per se, that I have played. I'm on my way to the final boss. Mind you, I can't find my Game Boy anymore, so I can't beat it right now, which is very disheartening, because I put a lot of time into it, and it is a lot more fun. It has a clear-cut story. It gives you some direction, but not too much, so it says, hey, this is a hint. It gives you hints about where to go, so you still figure things out for yourself, but this time you have help. And the world is just absolutely huge and packed full of things that I still can't find.
Agreed 100%. And let's not forget, it also introduces many iconic items. First and foremost, the hook shot.
The hook shot!
Absolutely one of my favorites. I mean, just the ability to reach your hand out, fire a hook at something, and pull yourself a long distance away to get from one point to the other, or even retrieve items, it's a thing of beauty. But having said that, something I've been wanting to ask you, actually I've been wanting to ask this to anybody, hook shot or a claw shot, which is better?
I have to go with the claw shot. I love the hook shot, because it's my nostalgic thing, but the idea, Spider-Man with claw shots!
Absolutely.
That's all I can say. Spider-Man.
Absolutely. I mean, sure, they make you work for the double claw shot in Twilight Princess, but at least it's a worthy investment, because when you get it, they make you use it for the boss of the area you get the second claw shot in.
So good.
Whereas in Skyward Sword, you get both right off the bat, and it's put to good use right there and then, so... It's a shame they didn't really bring that back in future installments. If they do, I will be very pleased.
I'm surprised they didn't put it in Breath of the Wild. Spoiler alert.
Yes.
It was heartbreaking.
I believe it. Although I haven't played that one much myself, but we'll get into that a little bit later, ladies and gentlemen. But keeping in tune with the top-down perspective games, let's talk about some of the other ones like Link's Awakening, Minish Cap, and the Oracle games.
Yeah.
What's your take on them?
So, I haven't played Link's Awakening not more than like a minute or two on a very poorly
I'm guilty of that as well.
A very poorly made, poorly coded emulator, and I had no fun because the system I was using was garbage, so I couldn't play it. I haven't found a physical copy that I could buy for less than $100 anywhere. So
$100, really?
I'm broke and I can't find it anywhere.
Well, I guess I'm in the same boat as well. Although I could think of a way to record it myself if I had the money and the technology. The thing is, if you have a Super Nintendo and a Super Game Boy, slip it in and you should be able to record it onto, say, an Elgato.
Huh. That's actually pretty cool.
In fact, if I ever get that equipment, you might see it on my YouTube channel.
Good to know.
Yes.
That's going to be fun. But yeah.
And of course, with the Oracle games and Minish Cap, it's different storylines, updated graphics, and fun mechanics all in all.
Minish Cap, never beaten it. Once again, I'm sorry, I haven't beaten any of the top-down perspective games, and I'm very ashamed to say that. It makes me so sad every time I say it.
That's alright, there's always time to improve on your skills and check games off your bucket list. Although there's one thing about Minish Cap I don't really understand. What's with that talking cat that hangs around with Link? I mean, what's his name? Elzo, something like that?
Yeah, Elzo, I think. Sorry if we got the name wrong. Haven't played the game much.
Haven't played it at all.
Yeah, he's sort of like, dare I say it, the Navi of that game. He teaches you things, helps you along in your quest.
Yeah, I've heard in some ways that Elzo can be even worse than Navi because he always pipes in at the most inopportune times. In fact, I remember on one Let's Player's Best of video, he actually did a segment where he would always say, "Shut up, Elmo," as a reference to this Elzo character. He just called him Elmo for some reason, and just like, "Shut up, Elmo! Shut up, Elmo! Shut up, Elmo!"
That sounds exactly like what I experienced. And I only played the game for like 20 minutes.
Yeah. But of course, when it comes to the real meat and potatoes of the Legend of Zelda games, you cannot overlook the 3D open world games, starting with Ocarina of Time on the N64.
Nostalgia.
At its finest.
That was the first video game I ever played. It will forever hold a special spot in my heart.
Really? Wow. That is amazing.
First video game I ever played, first video game I ever beat.
I say you got off to a very good start with video games because my first video game was Super Mario Bros., the original. But as far as Zelda games, Ocarina of Time holds a place in my heart as well. If for any other reason, it's because it shows the origins of Ganondorf as a Gerudo thief, his conquest of the Sacred Realm, and his eventual transformation into the monstrous King of Evil. And the battle itself is really cool too, whereas he knocks the Master Sword away, and you gotta get it back before you can land the final blow and trap him in the Sacred Realm.
So satisfying.
Absolutely, and so many awesome bosses in that game.
And it has added the most traumatic thing in all of video game history, and we both know what that is.
Are you talking about the Redeads?
Well, that too. I'm talking the Water Temple. The most traumatizing thing. It took me 4 months to beat it the first time.
4 months?
4 months. I was 8 years old.
I'm gonna have to say this. What's wrong with you?
I was 8 years old. I didn't know what the internet was. We didn't even have the internet.
Oh, yes, that's right. I forgot. You're from rural Manitoba. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But still, you managed to persevere, so I commend you for that.
Yeah!
But I think, if anything, the Shadow Temple gave me more trouble. It's just that you have to know where you're walking and have the lens of truth on standby every single moment, or else you're just going to fall to your doom.
Oh, I'd watched my brother play that dungeon 2 or 3 times before, so I knew pretty much exactly what I was doing, so I got lucky with that.
Yeah. Although one of my favorite temples, as far as fun factor goes, definitely the Spirit Temple.
Best. Best music, best look, best feel. Amazing.
And challenge with the Iron Knuckles and Twin Rova.
Oh, best boss battle.
And while we're on the topic of the 3D games, do you feel that Majora's Mask actually mirrored Ocarina of Time a little too much? Because I kind of get that vibe in some ways.
Well, it is a direct sequel, so you do have to mirror it in some ways. I agree, yeah, there are some issues with it, that it is pulling too much from Ocarina, but in other words, it is great.
Although one big difference in Majora's Mask as opposed to Ocarina of Time, sure, your companion Tattle is a lot like Navi, except
yeah.
Tattle's got a far worse attitude.
Oh, sassy.
I mean, it's like if Tattle were to say, "Hey, listen," Licky would just like crush and say, "No, you listen."
Haha. Wait, wasn't he looking for Navi in that game?
I'm not sure. I think so.
Yeah.
But then again, there's no way of knowing. It's one of those mysteries of life we'll probably never solve.
Heck, some people say he's actually going through like his stages of death during that game, and that he's actually supposed to be dead.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before. I wonder how much truth there is to that.
Well, we can only research and find out, but
Absolutely.
it's only a theory.
Okay, let's move on to another 3D game, one which I'm not really fond of myself, The Wind Waker.
Oh,
you're not
fond of it?
I just couldn't get into it. I'm sorry. If anyone's offended by that, I do apologize, but it's just not my cup of tea. But obviously, you've got some fond memories just by what you're speaking.
Yeah,
So
I bought it for the Wii U. I have it. My brother got it for the GameCube, and I have beaten that game 5-6 times, and that's just a guesstimate. And I find it fun. I find it to be a lot different than most games because, yeah, you're sailing most of the time. That's a big complaint I have.
yeah, that's probably what killed it for me as well.
There's a lot of just, as one YouTuber I watch describe it, you'd put the sail on, you'd put your controller down, go to the next room, make yourself a sandwich. You'd come back and you'd be halfway to your destination.
Either that or you'd be gunned down by rogue pirates.
Rogue pirates, cyclones.
Oh yes, the Cyclones. That's another thing that I didn't really like about the game.
Those things genuinely terrify me, and I don't know why.
Although, in keeping with my love of 3D style Zelda games, Twilight Princess was one that really held my attention. I mean, sure, it wasn't a lot of people's favorites, especially on the Wii, because of the motion controls, but I don't know. I didn't have a problem with that. A little shaky at times, but nothing I couldn't handle.
I know I played it on the GameCube first. We had borrowed it from my cousin. We sadly still do not own the game, or the HD remake. Alas, 'twas not meant to be, but it is still one of probably my second favorite Zelda game of all time.
It's actually pretty high up on my list. I'd probably put it at number 3 myself. And I didn't even have to look on the internet for any tips because I actually managed to get into my possession the Holy Bible of Twilight Princess.
What's this?
It's
You have a walkthrough?
It's a big book walkthrough, and it comes complete with a cloth map of the entire world.
Oh, I'm so jealous to get the Master Sword. I spent an hour.
Well, I'll tell you what, Gray. If I can dig it out, I'll lend it to you, no problem.
Yeah, I looked on the internet.
However, the cloth map stays with me.
Oh, that is all yours. That is fair. That is completely fair.
The thing I like best about Twilight Princess is some of the game mechanics, especially when you're in the 4th dungeon and you're fighting, and hopefully I'm not spoiling for anybody, the battle with Stalord in Arbiter's Grounds.
Twilight Fossil Stalord.
Yes.
Had a bit there.
Crush his spine, drop his head down, then you gotta wail on him.
Oh, most satisfying thing, riding your Beyblade, as people have called it, up.
Yes, the spinner.
Oh, fantastic item.
And it just keeps getting better, using the Dominion Rod in the 6th dungeon to crush Armogoma, or the Ball and Chain to smash Blizzetta, and the Claw Shots to bring down Argarok. There's just no end to how much fun you can have in that game.
They did so well on those bosses. They put so much thought, so much detail, and they did the graphics, though they are outdated now, for their time, they were absolutely breathtaking.
I agree 100%. And they throw so many surprises at you, like the back and forth duel on the bridge against King Bulblin.
Yeah.
The dueling mechanics with Ganondorf at the last stage of the game. And having to switch back and forth between human and wolf form when you're actually beating Dark Beast Ganon.
Oh, that was my favorite part, was the idea of, hey, these dungeons, after Dungeon 3, spoiler alert, you do get the ability to go back and forth at will, which is very helpful. But like Arbiter's Grounds has got to be the best dungeon in that game because it forces you to swap back and forth at like all the time. Oh hey, your wolf form. Oh, now you got to switch back to human. Do this puzzle, and oh, you got to quickly do this as a wolf, and it is just great.
Yes, case in point for Arbiter's Grounds, the mid-boss Death Sword, just before you get the spinner. Because without the wolf set ability, you're not going to be able to find him, and you're not going to be able to deal any damage whatsoever.
No, nothing. It is by far the creepiest mini-boss of all time.
While we're still on the topic of 3D Zelda games, Let's talk about Skyward Sword. How do you think that one holds up in comparison to the rest of the 3D games?
See, it looks good, and it's really fun to play. Not including the awkward Wiimote controls. I had a lot of troubles with that. A lot of times the thing would just glitch out on me. But overall, I love the story more than the actual gameplay itself.
Indeed.
They did very well on the story. That's what I think, at least.
My biggest concern about the game is the fact that a lot of the areas in the said game were actually reused too many times for my liking because there wasn't enough dungeons I liked, or at least not enough areas to explore.
I know they gave you the 3 basic places,
Exactly.
and then took you back there twice.
Although I will say this about the game, the first boss you fight, Girahim, in Skyview Temple, that was a very refreshing change of pace because
Oh, yeah.
he was really tough for a first boss. I mean, he can mimic your every move, move your sword, he'll follow it, you try and take a slash, he'll grab it and yank it out of your hands.
They did so well on some of those bosses. Absolutely phenomenal.
Absolutely. Especially one from the Ancient Cistern, hint, hint.
Kalactus.
Ah, yes.
The little girl trapped in a suit of armor.
Yeah.
Scariest thing to hear.
Although one boss I wasn't particularly fond of just because of the way it was used and, well, underutilized, the Imprisoned.
The Imprisoned has brought up too many things to count, and a lot of the words I've used to describe him start with the letter F.
Are you going to give us demonstrations as to what those words are? Or do we leave
They
those
rhyme
to
with
imagination?
puck. Let's
Okay.
go with that.
Okay, fair enough. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, so there's a lot of words I could use to describe
Yes.
him, but a lot of them rhyme with puck.
All right.
We'll just go with that.
Good to know, good to know.
And then up next would be Link Between Worlds, I believe, right?
Yes, for the 3DS. Another game I'm not
Absolutely.
exactly familiar with.
No, I have not had the chance to play it. I sadly was getting ready for school at that time, so I didn't have any money to spend. So I haven't had the chance to play it at all, but I really want to.
So I guess that's one for both of us to look forward to in the future.
Absolutely.
And finally on our list of things to cover, the new game, Breath of the Wild, which you are very fluent in and have been playing non-stop.
I've been playing that game since since the day it came out, and I've literally turned my system off 3 times since I've gotten it, and Breath of the Wild has not been out of that case. I have beaten the game once. I have done working on a second playthrough, and heck, on my first file, I'm not even close to being like 50% done.
I hear you on that one. I've actually seen video footage on stream of that game, and I'm just amazed at the scope of how big that game is and all the stuff you can
Absolutely
do.
massive.
And some of the things you gotta do in dungeons, it just defies all comprehension,
Oh.
in my own personal opinion.
Those dungeons or shrines or whichever one you want to call them, some of them are like, hey, you walk in, oh hey look, pew, and you're done. But other ones, like I've actually spent a good 2 hours on one of them because it's like this is so well thought out, and you have all the pieces. It's just a matter of where does this piece go next, and you're going back and forth. And I've even technically cheated through some of them, so there's not just one way to get through all of them. A lot of them have 2 or even 3 ways to get in.
Really.
It is very great how they did that game. They designed it near flawlessly.
It would definitely be a challenge for someone of my stature because I'm a little older in age and maybe my reflexes as a gamer aren't as strong as they used to be or sharp. But I will say, the day I play Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for the first time, I will relish every moment of that because there is no question that if it's a Legend of Zelda game, it can't be bad. Or can it?
I have no words. I'm not going to finish this. We do not speak about the CDI games. They do not exist.
We don't speak. You killed me!
Why have you done this to me?
I don't know.
Oh.
You kind of forced my hand.
Alright. Those
Alright.
games, they shouldn't be.
I agree. I think our final closing point is Zelda CDI games, don't play them.
Don't play
If you
them,
want to
please.
get the gist of what they're about, watch the Angry Video Game Nerd. He will sum it up quite perfectly. And I think with that, we're just about out of time.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I want to thank Ray for spending some time and talking about his experiences with Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, thanks for having me with you.
And thank you to the viewers for tuning in and taking in our perspective of these games as well. So, until next time, this has been Gray, I'm Jeremy, this has been the ZeldaCast, and may the Triforce be with you. See you later, guys.